Well, how about that for an epic countdown remix? Wow, I figured that would be a little bit better with the matte black Chrono Aviation PC12, a little bit darker rendition of Carol of the Bells. I was jamming to that. Were you guys jamming to that one? That was pretty good. I actually got to turn up everything else because my ears, I feel like we're ringing after that one. That was pretty hardcore, pretty fitting. But yes, here we are back in the PC12. Good to see everybody today. Today is going to be a fun-filled day of streaming. Got 2 streams coming at you. We're going to be making our way in the PC12. Maybe the TBM might make an appearance here up to, what did I say, Vancouver, which tonight, with the VATSIM event, we're going to be flying from Vancouver to Chicago O'Hare in the 747, taking a heavy freighter in there in the midst of a cornfield crossfire event. So it should be a fun-filled night of streaming. But I wanted to give this PC12 another shot here. I watched some more videos last night. I watched the one where the real PC12 pilot talked about a couple of things. There's something I learned that I'm going to point out about ground mode and flight mode that really stuck out to me, and I think I might have not a solution, but I mean his solution is what I'm going to share with you. So if you're liking this airplane or maybe on the fence of this airplane, maybe this stream will help put you over the fence, or maybe not. Maybe you'll reserve and wait a little bit later until some more features get released. Either way, it's going to be fun. Fubar says, I never expected the double bass for that song. I know, Fubar. I had that in the old mix of countdown songs. I don't even know which remix that one was. But when it started going, I was like, I'm over here like jamming out and had to make sure my mic was muted. Dougal McTavish, and that's good to see you, my friend, watching with dinner. Beats TV. Absolutely, Dougal. I appreciate that, sir. Dougal, I watched that video. I'm not sure. I think it was the one you were talking about with the PC12 guy, talking about all the systems and all that. So I feel much more educated here on the PC12, and let's go ahead and give it a shot. I've also been talking to Phantom 320, who's got a lot of time on the PC12. He says he likes it as well. So we'll bounce some ideas back and forth throughout today's stream. It should be good. We're departing Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, on this juicy. Look at this livery. So the call sign matte black, legit. This is a matte black PC12. How cool is that? Chrono Aviation, based up in Canada. So we're going to be starting out here at Coeur d'Alene, which I've spent some summers down here. Beautiful place, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. We're going to make a quick jaunt up north to, what's the airport called? CYXC, I forget the name of it. Probably shoot a GPS approach into there. The weather is a little bit low vis right now, and then we're going to continue on up. Depending on how this first flight goes, we might jump into TBM for the second leg just to kind of get a vibe for both airplanes, because I love these prop streams. Again, smash that like button if you love seeing propellers. So here we go. Jeremy, yours is much more chill. I'm worried. Jeremy, don't worry about it at all, man. There's all kinds of renditions. I'm looking forward to Jeremy's rendition. We play the chill one a lot. I like the chill one. I literally just picked this one up out of my random collection of downloaded songs already. So, Jeremy, whatever your rendition is, don't change it. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic either way. So, just good to mix it up. We got smooth classical sometimes, and apparently we have like a heavy metal Carol of the Bells theme song, which I'd never heard before, or at least in a really long time. All right, enough of that. You can see here we're loaded up. I'll show you my weight and balance here on the PC12 today. We've got 60% fuel, and it changed all the weights here, but I had all the passengers loaded in. It brings us right about 8,300 pounds for the PC12 today on today's flight out of here. And yeah, we need about 40% fuel, so I got a little extra on there, which will be good. Look at the I do like the effects of the pitot tubes. Now, one thing I also want to point out is when I first loaded in, this is how you know there is some system stuff going on in the background. So when I first loaded into Microsoft, the blades were completely flat pitch. I think this is a Microsoft limitation. But as I sat here waiting for the stream to count down, the blades slowly went to their feathered position. I guess, I don't know if Microsoft does something where it loads in, everything's got to be pressurized or fully up, and then with nothing running, that pressure bleeds off and those blades become feathered over time. So that's pretty cool. I know when you fly some of the other like black square stuff, there is that limitation where you load in, your props pretty much are flat pitch, and you can't really fix it unless you do some tweaking. So there is definitely modeling going on underneath the skin of this aircraft. Pretty nicely done. All right, RC Flyer, thank you for the 20 months of support, my friend. Kicking off the holidays with V1 content. Thanks for all you do. Great educational streams. RC Flyer, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the content. Well, let's get out of here. Getting the Black Jet vibe from Rambo 2, indeed. All right, let's clear this sucker off here. I did find out that if you do this, now you can completely stow the sunshade up over the over yourself there. We'll go ahead and remove the control lock. One other thing, I guess I don't know how to do ground power. So we're just going to do the same thing as before. We're going to start it up and do our stuff from with the engines running. We'll pretend that we had everybody's in here nice. It's kind of cold out here, so we want to close it up and get the engine running so we can warm the cabin rather. So we'll close the external door here, and now this is important. So if you look outside, it's hard to see with this livery, but this latch is unlatched. This is a no-go here. We need to have that latch. So to do that, you got to click this little spot there. You can hear it latching. There we go. So now our aft bulk door is closed, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and come back up front here. Everybody's on board. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. All right, good deal. I'll get the cabin warmed up in just a moment, folks. We'll go ahead and close this door. Looks like we got a couple TBMs out there. Same thing here. We want to make sure we are locked and secured. Everything's latched up. So now we got everybody out of the wind. Let's take a look who's on the ramp with us today. We have TBMs. Look at that. We got 4 TBMs lined up. I think they're PC12s, but I think it's just model matching. That's the issue. But this is a really good size comparison. I did this a little bit on that last stream. Take a look at the difference. PC12 and TBM 850. Like, you can definitely tell the PC12 is a much larger airplane. So it makes sense that it's much more stable and docile. I mean, the TBM is kind of like a Ferrari. I said that before, so I don't know what's going on there, a little levitation. All right, let's go ahead and fire this puppy up, shall we? It's all PC12, says Brian. You're one of them. It's just, okay, so it is just the model matching error that's got it going on. I got spam calls, all things stuff going over here. All right, here we go. Let's fire it up. We're going to go battery 1, battery 2. We'll go ahead and get the nav light on. We'll get the beacon light on because we're going to start up here right out of the gate. We have the fuel pumps in auto, starter, ignition is in auto. Everything looks good here. We do the inert, so you can do the inert set. We'll open that up for engine start. There is a couple of different situations where you would start with the inert sep closed versus open. So we're going to go ahead and open the inertial separator. We'll get the passenger and the seatbelt signs on right now. With batteries on and the avionics off and our beacon on, we'll go ahead and fire up the engine here and get things ready to go. So we'll go ahead and engage the starter. Waiting for about 13% NG. Low idle. Iron Man, good to see you. 21 months of support. Hey, Captain, been working grave shift. Good to see you. Iron Man, good to see you on board, man. Always a pleasure. Welcome. Is the axe murderer on board? I think he is, AJ. We're going up to the Great Canadian North, so it only makes sense. Pratt PT6, the turboprop model is pretty darn good. I should have watched and see where we temped out, but you can see here it's pretty cold, nice low start, nice cool start. With the starter complete, we'll go ahead and go generator 1, generator 2, avionics 1, avionics 2. We'll go ahead and close the inertial separator. We no longer need it. We'll get our probes heater on as well. Inverter generator 1, that's fine. Standby bus is not being used. Our after start flow, we got our avionics on. We're going to come down over here. I would hit the GPS, but they're not ready yet. We'll go auto ECS. We'll select flaps 15 because it can take about 20 seconds, I believe, for flaps 15 to actually deploy. So flaps 15 gets rolling, and as soon as these are ready, we'll hit the activation here. Enter, enter. They're going to do their thing. We'll go ahead and turn on our Garmin. ECS is on auto. We're going to warm up the temperature. While we're here looking at it, I'm going to set our cruise altitude. I think we filed 200, so we'll set 1,000 feet above that. We'll scroll this up to 210. This is the 4-blade again, Rex. This is the 4-blade. That's the only livery for the 4-blade. So we'll set 21,000 feet. We should pressurize right about 5,000. I'll put that rate knob right about vertical there. That looks good. All right, that leaves us with the pusher test. So let's go ahead and complete the pusher test. To do this, we're going to go ahead and select pusher on the overhead. We're going to add a little bit of torque. Let's going to do the stall or the stick shaker, and then it's going to pull the yoke in. When it pulls the yoke in, we're then going to press the button here, remove, pull the yoke back, wait for the alert. There's the alert, and now we'll go ahead and turn the push button off up top and release the takeover button here on the yoke. Now you would do the same on the first officer side as well, because you want to make sure that takeover is working on both sticks in the event of emergency. All right, so our stick pusher is complete. We'll hit the magic barrel ref key. We'll set our cruise altitude in here. We'll set flight level 200. One other tip I learned watching this Real Pilot video, he said he likes to pre-arm his vertical speed, so we're going to select 1,200 feet per minute. We're going to pre-select it, so that way after takeoff we can just go ahead and hit that. We'll do our terrain test. Terrain is in op. Why is terrain in op? Interesting. We'll come back to that here in a minute. Also, we'll hit the fuel reset so we can get our fuel values, and let's get our flight plan loaded up here. All right, we are going from Kilo... nope. Nope. Gosh dang it. This little button here. Kilo, Charlie, Oscar, Echo. That's Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And our flight plan is really simple. We got one leg edges, EDGES. So we'll hit this again here. EDGES. Northwest USA, except then to our arrival airport, which is Charlie Yankee X-ray Charlie Cranbrook. We'll activate that. That looks good. Now we'll set this up properly here. We'll put our 430 with our deviation, and then we'll leave our overall map up like that. We can go ahead and put our CDI in GPS, which we have to do from down here. So let's change our nav mode to GPS. GPS is selected. That looks good. Now I'm wondering why I can't do oh, there we go.
EGPWS system OK.
All right. JipWiz test OK. Let's go ahead and turn on the panel lights. And I don't think we need any floodlight right now, do we? Nope, no floodlight required. Everything else looks good. Let's make sure we're on Unicom 122.8. And here's our fuel quantity. We're on board. Everything looks good there. You could do a fuel use reset just to get a little extra juice, but no need. That pusher is like primitive alpha prod. Jeremy, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. All right, we're fired up. I'm ready to go. Winds are out of the west, I believe. Let me look at the Coeur d'Alene 10-9 page here. So we'll taxi out to runway 24 via November Lima. Coeur d'Alene traffic, Matt Black 357. We're going to taxi to runway 24 via November Lima. Coeur d'Alene traffic. All right, so that is done. Make sure my V-pilot is actually on. Yep, and our radio works. All right, Coeur d'Alene weather. Thank you, RC Flyer 200 at 4. Perfect. So we'll go straight out of... straight out on 20. Oxygen checked 100%. Do we need to turn it on? No, I think it's already on, right? If we black out in cruise, you'll let me know. But I don't think we need to actually turn it on. We're pressurized. Everything is set to go. ECS is on. So hopefully we don't need our oxygen mask. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Parking brake is off. Taxi light is on. A little bit of power. Let's roll. Do you miss flying props enough to go back to it? No, Zippy Zapple. I will not go back. Unless I had to, of course. So the good thing, Chad, is I removed the wheels from my office chair. So we shouldn't have any issues now. I do have to figure out how to get off this ramp, though. Oh, I missed the exit back there. Well, that's the fuel farm. All right, we'll taxi out by the fuel farm and then go.
Wellington field traffic, November 714 Bravo Victor, taxiing runway
I'm going to spin my heading bug around about 200. There we go. It's so hard to control takeoff and landing. Let's talk about that, Rex Royce. So this is a big part of my first gripe of this airplane yesterday, but I've learned some information. So real quick, as I turn on, make sure I'm turning on the right taxiway here, and then we'll talk about this. Perfect.
Court lane traffic, Matt Black 875 is going to taxi November Lima 24, number 3, court lane.
Cool. We got traffic taxi now behind us. All right, so let's talk about the my issues on takeoff. So what happened to me, and what I can only describe as, I guess we don't need that cam right now, I can only describe as like ground mode or yaw going from 0 to 100 instantly on takeoff roll. It wasn't just me making that up. So there is a ground mode and a flight mode on this airplane, on any airplane, and I guess it's a Microsoft limitation to where they can't really make that transition very smooth. So according to the developer, if you are on the ground above 80 knots, that flight mode is going to kick in, and that's basically going to change the complete dynamic of the airplane, and it makes it uncontrollable, virtually uncontrollable, on the takeoff roll. So you need to be very careful that you actually rotate and get off the ground. With flaps 15, moderate gross weight, you're going to be rotating right about 80 knots anyway. A tip that I also picked up from the video was he said to kind of preemptively pull back on the yoke a little bit. So, have a little bit of back pressure already on the yoke as you're accelerating through about 70 knots or so. That way, as soon as the airplane starts to generate lift, everything will be effective when it's supposed to be effective, and you'll have a nice, smooth takeoff. Now, conversely, the same is opposite on landing. If you land fast, you're going to have issues controlling the airplane, so you want to make sure that you're coming across the numbers on speed, or at very least, if it's a long runway, that you bring that power to idle and you're touching down right around 10 knots or your approach speed, or up to 10 knots below your approach speed, which is going to be right in that 80 knot mark for touchdown. And then establish directional control, and once you have directional control established, then go into reverse thrust. Wrong call sign. Actual call sign for PC12 is Needle. Matte Black would be the Dash 8 and the 732. Yeah, but Needle's not as cool as Matte Black, so we're going to roll with Matte Black. Which one is... Don't they also say don't they just say Chrono? I thought that I heard a Chrono before. Matte Black is their coolest one. We flew the 732 under the Matte Black call sign and actually got lost. Anybody remember that stream? We got lost on a 732 stream going up to the Great Canadian North. This is why the only realistic aircraft from Microsoft is A2A Comanche. I don't find anything else. There's no point. David, well, the A2A Comanche is also not a turboprop, so there's definitely a lot less adverse yaw effect than a PT6 single engine. The yaw on this is significantly more dramatic than anything you would experience in a naturally aspirated piston. But you're not entirely wrong in saying that that's unrealistic of how it's currently modeled. So it's a trade-off. You have to figure out what's most important. Do you want a realistic flight model, or and less realistic ground behavior, or do you want realistic ground behavior and not a realistic flight model? You got to kind of take the trade-off. All right, brakes are set. We'll kind of go over our final checks here. Our transponder, we'll put it on, since technically we're going IFR, we'll squawk 2,000. Oops. Gosh dang it. 2,000. 2,000, and we are on altitude. Everything looks good. We're squawking 2,000. GPS is set up. We'll go direct to after this. There's no Toga flight directors on this right now. They're still working on that. So, I think we're ready to go. And the sounds on this airplane are absolutely fire. We'll have a little crosswind from the left. Actually, we could take off of this other runway. What's that? Hold on. No, 20. 20 is the correct runway. 24 is this other one here. 24 is going that way. 20 is going that way. All right. Let's go ahead and light it up and get out of here. Everything else stays in auto. Probes are set, and windshield heat always comes on, and NerdSep is not required. And we are going to warm the cabin and our feet because it's chilly. No recirc. Quarter lane traffic, map back 357, departing runway 20. Quarter lane. All right, we'll go ahead and go into flight idle with our condition lever. Look at me trying to do like an Airbus lineup. Wow, it was such an overshoot. All right. Runway heading is set. We got our GPS on our course. Let's go to Canada. So right about 40 torque is what we're looking for. Release the brakes. I'm going to add a little bit of back pressure on my yoke. Right about 40% torque. You can go ahead and stop. It's going to creep up here.
Traffic number 1014 Bravo Victor.
80 knots. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. About 7 to 10 degrees. And at 400 feet, flaps up. Above 100 knots. Quarter lane traffic, map back 357. We're up in 20. We'll make a left crosswind. Correction, we'll make a left downwind departure on course, quarter lane traffic. All right, let's go ahead and spin her around, make a left crosswind turn here. It's definitely colder where we're going, that's for sure.
Traffic, number traffic in Victor, departing from...
Lower that vertical speed. I'll trim it out to right about 1,200 feet per minute is what I've been told.
Quarter lane traffic, map flight 875, lining up runway 20, quarter lane.
I mean, the hand flying, so the thing about this though is it does hand fly really, really nice. I mean, I cannot argue how docile the hand flying capabilities are, or characteristics rather. I mean, even 1,200 feet a minute, with this performance, we're doing about 1,800. Look at that, we're trimmed out, ready to go. Now I can't see my rudder. Oh, I need to go yaw damper on. That's my bad. I should have went yaw damper on. There we go. Now that's going to help with my rudder.
Quarter lane traffic, map flight 875, departing 20.
That would have been part of my after takeoff flow that I messed up. As we rotate the needle here, I'll tell you what, we'll just fly to intercept. We could just redirect it, but we'll fly to intercept the course line. The sounds are very good. The sounds are spot on. We'll intercept the DTO at about a 350 heading. We'll roll it out here. It's already starting to come back. Can't wait to try this in the middle of a PC upgrade, and I'm impatient. Steven? Well, that's exciting, man. Congratulations on your PC upgrade. That's some fun stuff. I've been looking at possibly doing that myself. You can see here our course needle is alive. I got her trimmed out at about 160 knots. Look at that. I mean, stable as a rock. Absolutely stable. Absolutely stable. What we'll do here is we'll go ahead and activate the autopilot. We'll keep it in heading mode, and I'm also going to engage vertical speed. So we'll pull out and engage vertical speed to 1,200 now as we're reaching 10,000 feet. So we're going to start accelerating with a vertical speed of 1,200 only. I'll go back to live cam since we're going Back to full screen cam at a 10,000. We'll also kill our wing light, our landing, taxi. They're already off when the gear goes up in the well anyway, so we'll just keep our nav beacon and strobes on. You're now free to move about the cabin at 10,000 here. Here comes our CDI. I'll start the turn in heading mode, nice and gently. Look at this, beautiful. I mean, it truly captures the feeling of you're flying a commuter, was like boutique air, or like you really are flying a small commuter turboprop. Because I don't want to say it flies like an airliner, but it almost kind of does. The flight model is that docile. All right, we're pretty much close on it. We'll go ahead and hit nav. A little overzealous of me there. It's going to go ahead and rock back to the left. That's bad technique. I should have centered the needle up or just redirected it. Either way, it's going to go ahead and do a little S-turn here. We're going to join the nav course. Accelerating now about 190 knots. David STW, you're right though. The glass on these garments, check this out. And I'm not even streaming in 4K. These garments, I'm going to let this image just kind of crisp up. I can tell you, and I can show you right now, YouTube is having a keyframe issue with my upload here, so it's probably not even as sharp as I'm seeing it. But the glass on these garments and these gauges, I can feel these textures, you know. So like in the 7.4, I said I can smell the headrest on the texture mod. I can feel these buttons because I've mashed these buttons so many times in real life. Now, like I can feel these buttons here on these garments. I could feel the glass there. I'm surprised there's no fingerprint smudges that I have to wipe off because someone thinks it's a touchscreen when it's actually not a touchscreen. I mean, the texturing on this cockpit is really, really spot on. All right, we're all nabbed up. I'm going to sync my heading bug here. I'll also turn down the sim a little bit so I don't have to yell the entire stream. Now, I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong with this. Is it supposed to be flashing like this? I don't know if it's supposed to. I don't know if that's me doing something wrong or not, but we'll go ahead and check on our cabin, make sure the cabin is climbing. It is climbing. You can see the autopilot trim is working itself out here. And this is kind of going back to the that flight model I talked about, right? So we have a very realistic flight model. You can see as the aircraft is accelerating, it's going to need less of that takeoff trim to counteract that torque. So it's slowly bringing the trim out here of the rudder trim as well, the yaw damper and all that. It's all working together. And I assume there would be a point at when you accelerate to a fast enough airspeed that trim will be pretty much dead on neutral or whatever it needs to be, maybe slightly off neutral just to keep a coordinated flight in level flight. Do I need these anymore? I almost turned them off. So the only... what is secondary lighting? I don't know. The only thing, and I know they're aware of it, is they say like the reflection on this, it's a little bit much. It makes it kind of hard to read the PFD. If I turn the brightness down on it, oh, that's the bottom one. Give it a little bit more contrast. Just a hair over dramatized on that reflection there, makes it a little bit washed out, but I think they're already aware of that. All right, we're doing 1,200 feet a minute. We're climbing out at about 180 knots, 185 knots. Juice. Absolutely juicy. Cabin temp is 0C. I think that was outdoor temp. Oh no, that cabin temp? Why does cabin temp say 0C? We need to warm it up. So let's do this. Let's go hot. Let's do this. ECS isn't auto. Let's see if we can warm the cabin up. We have the heating on. Now this is all cooling. We don't need any restart cooling. And I wonder if I should have the fans on though. I don't think so. Where is the RA, the rad out, the radio altimeter? The radio altimeter will display on your PFD. So it'll actually display right up here. And you adjust it by this knob right here. So you can select DH and you can select the rad out, whatever you need to be doing for your approach. So if you're doing like an ILS and you're going to do a Cat 2, because I don't think you'd be able to fly a PC12 Cat 3. Maybe, I don't know, some operator might allow it. You're going to need that alert height, 50-footer, and you can have it set right there. What did you set your altitude? We're climbing up to flight level 200, and our pressurization is set to flight level 210. I set it 1,000 above. If I push this back in, yeah, we're climbing up 200 in vertical speed mode. Oh, I guess you just push it in, so that lets you know you're in vertical speed, I guess, blinking. I get you. Okay, Duffman, I got you. Thank you. Yeah, so I push that in and it stops flashing and we'll maintain the vertical speed. Now you can see here, look, this is a realistic, you guys want to talk about realistic PT6. This is what's happening here. My torque, look at my torque, it is dropping off. That is correct. So I'm going to bump that torque up, but actually I should have reduced power much sooner. I need to pull out a climb torque. Let me pull out a climb torque here for y'all. Give me a second. I think it's like 30 something, isn't it? I think we're pretty much at climb torque right now. There's a manual I downloaded. Caught me off guard. I didn't have it ready to go. SimWings. Ha! SimWings. Dude, no. SimWorks. Oh no, where's all the documents? There it is. Manual. Any reason you decided to go to CYXC? Rex, because it's a good distance between CYVR and tonight's stream we're going out of Vancouver in the 7-4. So I'm kind of simulating that we are kind of regional piloting some guests all the way up to Vancouver, and then tonight, or maybe we're taking some additional freight, and we're gonna take it up to Vancouver. And tonight we're taking a 7-4 Heavy out of Vancouver all the way to Chicago into the middle of a VATSIM event. Should be awesome. There's the altitude alert. Now that we get to cruise, let's see maximum climb torque. Or let's look at our cruise torque here. We're at flight level 200. Should be about 31.7 for maximum cruise torque. So as soon as we level here, I'll walk it back to about 31. Do I know Chrono Aviation? I know of them. Yes, I don't know anybody there. I don't work for them, but I've heard them on the radio a couple times, and they have a sweet call sign and some sweet liveries. V1 isn't responding to my text, so I'm here. ITT limit is 750. Ooh, Phantom's in the chat. Hey, Phantom, not to put down you on the spot. You want to like join the Discord and give everybody voice your opinion to the PC12? He's a real PC12 driver. White. I'm responding, Laura. I'm responding to your text now. We want white lights. All right, leveling 200, max torque, 31.7 or 700C. 700 in cruise, Phantom? That seems weak. All right, we'll pull it back. Wow, Phantom, I didn't realize you were like all winged out too. Look at the Phantom's been a member of the channel for way too long. Thanks for the support, man. Guys, if you didn't know, Phantom 320 is actually John Wick. He's actually John Wick in disguise. Bright white or warm white? I don't know, bright white. Oh, that's AJ. Get out of here. You're messing me up. All right. Yes. Zippy, yeah. CYVR. It is CYVR, right? Vancouver. All right, 37 miles out, direct track with a little bit of a crosswind. We are looking good here. Oh, that's to edges, and then CYXC after that. All right, we're in cruise. As we head over to the great Canadian North now. Who's Phantom? Look at that, we got some snow cover up here. This is juicy. I'm liking it, I'm liking it. Yes, call sign Chrono, Matt Black, Chrono, or Needle. Yeah, Ben Airbus. Yeah, I was told that the Needle, so for the PC12 would actually be Needle. Which, I mean, it's not terrible. Needle's kind of cool. Maybe we should change our call sign to Needle. But I love the sound set. Like, you can even tell right here, like, you hear that you can hear the hot section of the turbine. I guess the turbine is the hot section, but you can hear the hot section of the PT6 as well as the prop. The sounds alone are very, very captivating. I think they've done a great job with the sound set. And I'm a PT6 stickler. Like I've been wanting a really good PT6 since we had the Airfoil Labs King Air in X-Plane 11. And, you know, we've got the black square mod to the default, which is okay. The FT sims on the King Air are okay. I think this is by far the best PT6 sound set that we have available to us in Microsoft right now, though. Like, this PT6 sound set is probably the best one we got. Trying to find a good view here. I don't know what the best place to park it. We'll park it out here, I guess. Chateau Bow. Gotta give some love to the M500 sounds. Phantom's been flying the M500. Okay, Phantom, what is, in your opinion, a better PT6 rendition, M500 or PC12? So the only reason I don't have the M500 is because I don't like the G1000. But people keep telling me that it is one of the most deeply simulated airplanes that we have in the sim, especially on the GA front, right up there with A2A, that I might have to just bite the bullet and pick up the M500. PC12 flies better, but the M500 sounds are legit. Wow, okay, so the M500 has better sounds, but the PC12 flies better than the M500. Interesting. Do you remember how good the TBM sounded? I explained, yes, Jeremy. The, what was it? The X-Aviation, who made it? Was it X-Aviation? TBM? The TBM in X-Plane 11 still to this day is, in my opinion, the best GA airplane to ever hit the market. The fact that you could do airframe share and every little thing was tracked was the best thing ever. I gave my little example of this. We were doing a round-the-world tour, me and my buddy Jungly. I landed somewhere, I think I landed in Keflavik. We were doing it across the pond. So I landed the TBM in Keflavik. I sent him the little file, and he went to go fly. He didn't fly for a couple days. He goes to fly it 3 or 4 days later after I had gave him the file. And his pitot tubes are blocked because I never put the pitot covers on. I guess like something had crawled in the pitot tube. The airplane was all snowed up. You know, he needed to wait for everything to warm up because it was freezing. It just, that kind of stuff is cool. The tray table was left out in the back. I mean, to be able to do that with friends that's pretty next level. Hot start, yeah, hot start TBM. That's the one. I still feel the beta on the PC12 might be too strong, so in terms of that, I'd say M500. Ooh. Phantom, can you go, so I was messing with this on this lineup here when I took off. When you go to flight idle on the PC12, is there anything saying that you can't go to beta? I don't see why not, right? Because you would be going into reverse on landing in flight idle. So I feel like I have to use, I feel like a realistic feeling of beta is when I'm in flight idle as opposed to ground idle. The ground idle beta, I've never been in a PC12, but it does seem very apparent. Like, you go ground idle and beta, the airplane doesn't roll. But I've never flown the PC12, so like I know you could pretty much just roll your way down a taxiway in beta in the twins, but I've never flown a single engine PC12. How do you do an ILS approach? Ben, we'll fly one. How about we fly one into this airport up here? We'll look at the charts. Let me pull up the charts. I'll pull up my charts so you can see them as well. Yeah, so Phantom says same thing. So in real life, it wasn't as potent when you go beta in ground idle. All right, we've got 1.6s. Let me get you off the screen here. So where are we going? To CYYC. If I look at the airport. Or CYXC rather. Let's take a look at it's 1.6 and 3.4. Problem is, I think the winds are going to be out of the north. Can we check the weather? Let's see. Oh no, wind 010. Yeah, they are out of the north. Wind 010 at 5, 25 statute miles, few at 500. I tell you what, let's do an ILS to 16 and we'll circle. We'll do an ILS circle to 34. Because that seems, that's pretty much, I think that would be a pretty legit scenario right now. If you've got few at 500, let's just shoot the ILS to 16 and then we'll do a circle to land 34. So I will load up, let's see what ones. We have a couple options. We've got the Zulu, which has a Cranebrook feeder, which would be pretty cool. We could do that. This one is just straight up. We don't really want the X-ray. The Zulu. Does this have circling mins? Are you not allowed to circle? I don't think we're allowed to circle. Okay, it's okay. We'll do it anyway. We're matte black. We're Canadians. We do what we want. We're going to circle anyway. Not necessarily legal, but we'll circle. So we'll load up the ILS 32, 37. We'll load up the ILS Yankee from Cranbrook. And then we'll shoot an ILS down and circle. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to load it up from YXC VOR. All right, let's hop back into the airplane here. We'll start doing our planning. Oh, we're about to make a turn, though. I like seeing turn from outside view. Let's watch the turn from the outside view just because it's more epic. I don't know who said 700 ITT for cruise, but I don't recall that thing being a limit. I always use 750. I think technically it's 760 or 750 for buffer. Okay. Well, then we're going to bump it up. We're going to bump it up then. 700, we're just kind of putzing along here. Yeah, there might be, I think there's like that valley, Kevin. So it probably doesn't allow circling landings. James, good to see you, man. Welcome. This is cool, and this is the PC12 as good as the same. Some may remember the Flight 1 PC12 FSX. Wow, Flight 1 PC12. I do remember that FSX, Mike. Oh, there we go. There's the turn. There's so much juice right there. Look at that. I mean, it does. It's a pretty sweet looking airplane. You can see it's definitely getting colder up here. All right, let's go back in here and just do our planning. We're going to select approach. What did I say? We're going to do the ILS Yankee. So we'll do the ILS Yankee, and we want to do it off of YXC. We'll enter, and I tell you what, we'll just load it. Yes, and then we'll make our life easier. We'll go flight plan, and we'll just go direct to Yankee X-Ray Charlie, which is our initial. So we're going to modify our flight plan. We're going direct to Yankee X-Ray Charlie now. Slight left turn here. Get us back on course. Tim K, yes, there is Navigraph now. I'm sorry, there is sectional. So check this out. The latest update, which I wasn't really paying attention to. Did I pin this one? Yeah, I pinned it. There it is. The sectionals. So when you're in the U.S., you have VFR sectionals, which is really cool, really helpful. We're definitely going to do some more VFR flying with all of these turboprops now. And also, we're going to bump up the speed a little bit because our resident PC12 pilot said 700 seems a little weak. So let's bump it up. The manual said 31.7 for my torque at this altitude. So if I put torque 31.7, that is pretty close. We should be within limits. We're 721. You can see the yellow arc there on the ITT seems to be right about 750. So I'm going to set our max cruise torque per the manual, 31.7. It looks like we're going to temp out at right around 730. I mean, this is the only thing that I'll say now is, we never set standard, but we're not going to set standard because then it'll just change our altitude. But we should be on standard pressure. So there is no failures. And I believe they even said, less than like 1% of simmers care about failures. And I get that. But one thing that it kind of, I don't want to say ruins immersion, but like, it doesn't give me purpose to fly correct numbers when I know I can't damage the airplane. So maybe maybe by saying I like airplanes with failures is the wrong way of saying it. Maybe I should say I like airplanes that will correctly respond to improper piloting. So if you are consistently hot starting your engines are going to start to wear down on the TBM, or even the black square King Air for that matter. If you are cruising at a much higher temp than necessary, you're going to start having parts fail. If you are abusing the pressurization, you're going to have pressurization failures, by forgetting to set stuff. So having those implemented, to me, make a complete airplane. And I know that they're going to come to the PC12, so I'm not trying to knock it by saying they don't have them yet. But they don't have them yet, so it's kind of hard to say it's the most in-depth airplane or in-depth turboprop out there when they don't have some of the basic stuff, hot start, hung starts. Now, it is going to be a paid upgrade. I will definitely be picking it up. The flight model alone on this airplane has led me to enjoy it enough to where, like, I want more from this airplane. I want to be able to be held accountable by flying this airplane correctly. That keeps my attention more than something that I can just use and abuse and nothing ever will go wrong. But overall, it's really solid. I'm liking it. All right, so we are going direct to YXC. I'm going to take a quick look at the chart here. I have not flown the Honda jet or any of the default biz jets yet, Rex. I've heard good things, but I have not yet done it. Let's see. So our feeder route minimum altitude is 10,000. We're going to go ahead and start trickling down. So let me see if I can do this properly. I'm going to set 10,000, and then I'm going to pull vertical speed. I'm going to set a vertical speed down of like 100. I'm going to engage that, and now I'm going to slowly roll it in to about 1,000 feet per minute. So that would take 10 minutes, and we are approximately 4 minutes out. So we need to increase that. Let's go ahead and increase that rate of descent right about 1,500 feet a minute. We'll also roll down our cabin altitude. That's going to start decreasing. The field elevation is 3,000 feet. So we will set 3,000 in the pressurization as we begin to roll down. Right about, there's sea level. Oh no, so we don't want to submarine us, so actually no, what am I doing? 3,000, there we go. Okay, I got all mixed up there. We'll hit the magic barrel ref key on the descent now. Things are looking good. We'll pull up some sounds. Don't forget to armor, it won't capture. Thank you, Distinct Gaming. Live or Die by Outcell. That's Q400. All right, let's go ahead and bring the torque back here in the descent. You can see we're honoring that vertical speed, but it will not honor your indicated or anything like that. You will overspeed, so make sure you bring that power back if you're using a vertical speed in the descent. It's not like a flight level change or an IAS hold. All right, we're going to keep coming down. I need to also, I'm not going to pop it up because I keep forgetting to close it, but I've got to get 110.3 is the Lope Freak, which is already in there. It's already in there, and I can even put the final approach course in that too, which is 164 over here. Final approach course. Oh, it won't let me change it on this FO side. Let me go Lope 2. There we go. Run this over to 164. Have to go to a meeting, but we'll watch the butter on replay. All right, man. Take it easy, Carson. All right, 164 is set on nav 2. We're 8 miles from the VOR. I'm going to go ahead and continue to reduce power here. Coming in at 200 knots. Look at that scenery, though. A little bit different than Coeur d'Alene. Definitely got the snow on the mountains. Looking juice. I found the CY arrive MDA 37 1.7. No circling west of extended runway centerline. All right, no circling west, says Igor. We'll have to circle. We'll break out and we'll circle to the east. All right, now the one good thing here, if I go procedure, activate approach. Maybe I don't need to activate it because I've already. Yeah, we're already flying initial, so we'll be fine. So I think it'll. I think, unless I'm getting some misremembering the 530, I want to say it will auto tune. Well, it already auto tuned, but I think it'll auto tune the course. Maybe it won't. We'll just have to be careful of that. We've got our GPS overlay. We're definitely going into icing conditions. Let's get our prop heat on and our inert SEP on. Now I know we don't have any ice right now, but I want to see the boots if they inflate. I thought for sure I saw them working. Yeah, look, they're inflating. That's cool. Look at that, there they go. There they go. So that you can actually watch the boots inflate. That is pretty neat. Name howitzer, the flight model is 100% believable. Our resident PC12 driver was stopped by the chat, and he said he's loving it. And I'm being honest with you too, I love the flight model. The flight model is great. The ground to flight mode transition is the biggest, I wouldn't say problem, but that's kind of one of the hiccups with this airplane though, because I think they went for a really realistic flight model and a realistic ground model, but there's such a stark contrast that Microsoft, that you have a hard time blending it. Now they did say they might be able to refine it, so hopefully in some future updates they'll maybe be able to refine the ground mode and flight mode transition. But if you saw our takeoff today, just do as I did, which I learned from the PC12 guy. He said just make sure you're rotating at 80 knots. Which you should be anyway at flaps 15. There's no reason to be going 100 knots going down the runway. This thing wants to fly. So get that rotation in there, get the nose off the ground at 80 knots, and you're not going to experience it. And it seemed to work pretty well on our takeoff there out of Coeur d'Alene. If you go past the 80 knots and that flight mode kicks in, you'll start skating all over the runway, and it's uncontrollable. All right, we're descending down to 10,000. We're on the feeder route. I'm looking at the chart here. Let's see. This is going to take us out to essentially SOPs in the procedure turn, 8,000. We can't descend to 8,000 until we're established outbound on the Loke, so we're going to go ahead and just keep coming down then. I'm going to establish 10,000 and about 180 knots. That seemed to work pretty good for us on our last IMC approach into Ukiah yesterday. That's an issue with MSFS. Fighter rear, yeah, and that's kind of what the dev was saying is, it's a Microsoft limitation right now. Hopefully, that'll be something that can be worked upon in 2024. Allowing developers to get a nice transition between ground mode and flight mode. And one sim that just absolutely knocks that out of the park is DCS. If you've flown any DCS aircraft, so it's possible. Being able to, the flight models in Digital Combat Simulator are probably the best on PC simulators. So the technology is out there. We just need Microsoft and Azobo to invest a little bit of time on getting that transition. Wow, the weather is getting pretty gnarly. Let's go ahead and let's make it cozy in here. There's my cozy lights. Where are my cozy lights at? Cockpit flood, and I dim them down a little bit. Right there. That's the cockpit I like. Right there. All right, I'm actually gonna, since we're gonna be illegally circling, I think it's a better idea to even fly a little bit slower than 180. Let's keep it right around that 150, 160 mark. Seems like our torque is pretty much set for that. We're below 10. Let's get the rest of our lights on. Everything is looking good. I'm actually going to leave the boots on. I feel so cozy, says Jeff. Richland, I saw that Heapler released the F-14 from Microsoft. That's insane. Still loving the exhaust haze? Yes, the exhaust, the heat blur right here. That is cool. I can smell that heat blur. All right, we're 15 miles from proceeding outbound, and you can see we even have the procedure turn in the 530. So we can leave this navved up, and I believe it will fly it. So let's go ahead and, we did a raw data approach yesterday. Let's see if we can do a 530 Garmin overlay approach today. So we will have raw data. We have our ILS on our nav 2, so we can monitor raw data over here. I also forgot to set a DH. Let's just let's set that real quick. The minimums, we don't have circling minimums, so I will pretend that we're just using a, so without DME 250 rad out, I'll tell you what, let's make it 300. Press this, I believe. There we go. So I press that. I'm going to scroll this up. You can see on the bottom right of the PFD down there. That's a long scroll. Is there a way to speed this up? It does look like, did the cabin still say 0C? I'll look, Tyson, here, and give me a second as soon as I scroll for 42 minutes here to get the DH to 300 feet. All right, so I've got a DH of 300 set. As a reminder, we're definitely in legit icing conditions right now. Now, I wonder if you can see icing modeled on this airplane. That would be cool. I know in the TBM, you can, the effects, you can see them. Press shift to speed scrolling. I can always forget about that. Thank you, TOD. Cabin temp still shows 0C, so I wonder if I'm doing something wrong here. 0C, I have manual hot on. I've got this full hot. I wonder if I need to put on a... there would be the cooling system. I don't want to turn it on. We'll get our seatbelts on for everybody as well here. Have you bought the new heat blur for the sim? No, Dougal, I haven't. I can't bring myself to buy a heat blur add-on in Microsoft when I've flown it in DCS. I'm sure it's phenomenal, but nothing will compare with DCS. 0C is a bug, says Dougal. All right. 250-hour PC12 pilot move, yep. Okay, Phantom also says the temp indicator is currently broken. All right, I'm going to leave it up to y'all. So for our second leg, and this is purely, I've got no dog in either fight here. I'm going to start a poll. Our second leg up to Vancouver. Do we want to continue operation of Chrono PC12, or do you guys want me to jump back in the? I don't think I have the latest update. I don't know if I have the latest update of the TBM, but I'll put the poll up there, and if I don't like the answer of the poll, I'll just override it. I'm just curious if you guys want to, if you want me to continue flying PC12, or if you want to see in like an immediate comparison of the TBM. I do not have, full disclosure, I do not have the latest update of the TBM 850 though, so it'd be an older version. All right, let's make some radio calls here. Chuck SX, what's the name of this fix out here? Skookum. All right, now let's watch this carefully. We don't want it to turn all the way inbound. I might have to go heading mode here. Oh, I'm going back to heading mode. I'm going to make my own procedure turn. So it's got it. I see what it's doing. We're going to manually fly the hold here. What's the name of this airport, though? Cranbrook traffic, map like 357. We're just over Skookum. We're doing the procedure turn inbound for the ILS 16. We're going to circle to land. 3-4, Cranbrook, Skookum traffic, wherever we are. All right, so we're going to go ahead and what we can do is we can actually go raw data. So I'm going to go ahead and change the needle to Loc 1. You can see we don't have our course set. I'm going to go course, spin this around 164. proceed outbound. I'm going to come back inbound a little bit too. Doing 50 things at once here. Just verify. Final approach course is 164. Okay, good. So we're 164. We're turning back. We overshot our parallel entry a little bit. We had a little bit of a hiccup there, but hey, I'm single pilot. What can you expect? We can descend to 8,000 here in the hold. So we'll go vertical speed, 1500 engage. Ah, dang it. No, no, no. What am I trying to do? Arm, pull for vertical, engage. 1200. Dictatorship as always. YYC is Calgary, Vancouver. I don't know which one, Kevin's. Whichever airport is like 100 miles from here.
November 714 Bravo Victor, join the hold for the ILS circum traffic.
Circum traffic, Matt Black 357. We're outbound in the hold right now out of 9,000, sending 8,000 for the ILS 16 Circum. What does the poll say? Wow, 60% want to see the TBM in a comparison. I'm going to let this go until we intercept the final approach fix inbound. Until we intercept the final approach fix inbound. All right, there's our level off. Inbound at Chuck. Hopefully at 8,000 we should be below. We'll see here. But if not, we can continue on down. All right, 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and begin the turn back to the inbound course. Watch that speed. Bring it back. Top of descent. Thank you. Yeah, it flashes to remind you to bring it back to 8,000. So what I'm going to do on the 430 is I'm going to activate vectors to final because we're not using it anymore. We're naviging with our raw data navigation now. So I've activated vectors to final on the 530. 160, we're level 8,000. We're coming all the way back around to intercept. This is why you don't want to be below 8,000 feet here. Hard altitude in the turn. Look at this. Let's do a magic barrel ref just to make sure we are proper. Look at the terrain here on this. This is a sweet airport. Y'all, if you haven't hit the like button already, please hit the like button. That'll give me more excuses to fly more turboprops. This is the most fun flying that I do personally on the simulator, but it is not the most sought after content. So the more likes we get on these videos, the more chance that I'm going to be able to do more turboprop videos, because I love this. This is cool. We're doing a freaking procedure turn, circle hold here in between two valleys. How awesome. Now, theoretically, if I hit approach, no, I won't, because we have to sync it up. I wonder, we're in heading mode, right? There's a way to extend the center line on that thing. I can't remember how to do it. Oh well. Alright, we're 150. Looking good. We're ready to intercept. 8,000 feet. The SX, or Chuck, is at 16 DME. We're 21 miles out. Looks like we're going to join before, which is awesome. And nav. Why won't you? There we go. Approach arm. Lope captured. Beautiful. We've captured the lope. There we go. We've captured the lope. Glide slope is above us. As soon as we get the glide slope, it's a longer ILS. We'll go flaps. Put our flaps in as soon as we capture the glide slope here, or about 1 dot above. All right, so we are established inbound. Cranbrook traffic, Matt Black 357 established inbound over Sukhum for the ILS 16. Double check my approach course because I messed it up on the last stream. I don't know if any of y'all caught it. Final approach course 164. Course selected 164. Heading bug sync. This will help you with your crosswind correction. You can see we got a quartering tailwind now, about 9 knots. James says, I'd like to see you fly a King Air. That'd be cool. Yeah, I would like to fly too. YYC is 100 miles from Cranbrook, but you should consider Vancouver because the weather is lovely here as of now. Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry. I think I am misspoke. So our stream tonight to Chicago, we're leaving from Vancouver or Calgary, whichever one is about 3 hours from Chicago in a 747. It's like 1,200 miles from Chicago. Whichever one is 1,200 miles from Chicago, that's the one we're leaving from tonight. You can see our glide slope is alive, a dot above. Here we go. Let's extend flaps to... Love it. It's so stable, it's ridiculous. 58 to 42. 57. Ooh, back up to 58. All right, glide slope is captured. If we have to go around, we'll climb to 8,000 feet. I'm going to reduce speed now to about 130 knots here for the circle. Man, we are in it. Nice little layer coming in right in front of us here. All right, Calgary. All right, cool. Thank you. What time are we flying tonight? It's set up for 5 p.m. I'm actually surprised so many. We got it's leaning TBM. We'll try it. We'll give it a shot. What the heck? We'll give it a shot. Rex Royce, yes. A parallel on the Loke, you could get reverse sensing. We're at 7,500 feet now.
My next question is, do you know how to fix the airport?
What did he say? Yeah, name howitzer, I'm with you too. The same is true for the PC12. They have their EFB, but you have to download a third-party add-on right now, and it's just a kind of like a placeholder until they finish theirs. So yeah, weight and balance, we need that in both the TBM or PC12. I know the FSR 500 has its own weight and balance, right? Tablet.
Circum traffic November 714 Bravo Victor, we're fully stabilized ILS 16, circum traffic.
Bringing that power back a little bit. We could probably land off this. It's only a 10 knot quartering tailwind, plenty of runway. Dude, the barber pole? What do you mean does the barber pole work? If you go above it, what do you mean? Alright, once we're about 10 miles, we'll go ahead and extend the gear, which is right about now. Let's do it from outside. Let's watch this beautiful animation. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this is. I should just drop tomorrow's real world trip and fly more Microsoft. Look at that. Alright, gear's coming out. Gonna have to increase a little bit of torque now. We might have to land off of this, Chad. If we can't get a normal position to land, it's illegal to circle anyway. I was going to do an illegal circle, but if we can't see the runway before, say, 1,000 feet, 800, then we might just have to land with a little bit of a tailwind here.
Aircraft are traffic November 205 with fuel tank clear runway 24 and
Cranbrook traffic, map black 357, we're 8 miles out for ILS 16, Cranbrook. Alright, I think I see an approach light out there. We'll keep coming down. Field elevation is about 3,000 feet, so, oh yeah, we could easily circle. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to set 5,000.
Over Sikkim inbound on the ILS.
Arm.
Cranbrook.
I'm going to decouple from the ILS. I'm going to select heading, and we're going to circle east, not west. Cranbrook traffic, map black 357, breaking off the approach to 16 at 6 miles. We're circling for 34. Cranbrook. All right, so we should level at 5,000 feet here. I'll tell you what, it's a long circle. Let's go ahead and bring the gear back up. And we can, just for situational awareness, let's select a different approach because there is an RNAV. We'll do RNAV, enter, vectors to final, activate, procedure, activate vectors to final. Good. So now what I've done on my 530 is I've just activated vectors to final for the opposite runway. So I don't get myself confused here. I'm also going to, let's see, 1, 6, and yeah, 3, 4. I'm going to spin my course needle around here. Let's change this GPS mode. There we go. So now I've got a runway reference. And I keep talking about the flight model. This is disengage the autopilot. Autopilot is off. I'm surprised there's no alarm when I click that. Yeah, flight director's off. Yaw damper is still on. We'll give you a little yoke cam action. We can continue to trickle down here. So if it's 3,000, 4,500 feet would be about, wouldn't be about, it'd be 1,500 feet above. So we're looking good. We'll keep trickling down. Cranbrook traffic, map back 357 on downwind, runway 34. Cranbrook. All right, so there's the airport.
Cranbrook traffic, number 714 Bravo Victor. We're also breaking off ILS 16, following a downwind, runway 34. Cranbrook traffic.
Cranbrook traffic, map black 875 on about a 50-mile final, 16 will circle 34. Cranbrook.
All right. Trimmed out a little bit. Look at that. I mean, the hand flying is nice. Man, the hand flying is so nice, it almost makes me not want to fly the TBM because the TBM is so spicy. Like, I could have a glass of wine and fly this airplane. The TBM, you're going to spill that wine. You got to be on it. Look at that, though. That is pretty sweet. I don't like flashy lights in my cockpit, so acknowledge the flashy lights. We'll keep 5,000 set in the window in case we have to go around. Right a beam touchdown point. Let's go ahead and bring that power out, lower the gear.
Sync rate.
Whoop.
Sync rate.
That's what happens when you
Sync
fly
rate.
from outside.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
I feel like that's a little overzealous. So I bound a view here to help my circlings. Let's keep coming around. Cranbrook, map back 257, we're on crosswind 34. Correction, left, correction, right base. Oh, geez, we overshot. This is why circling is kind of hard.
Cranbrook traffic, number 714 Bravo Victor. We're on the
30.
downwind. We're going to slow down to give you space. Cranbrook traffic.
We're going to S-turn this one a little bit here. We definitely overshot that. We'll do a flaps 30 landing. That's all right. We're in a PC12. Nothing to see here. It's crazy Canadians at it again. All right, so I'm a little bit fast. Now, this is where I always feel like I'm slipping on final. This is something that Phantom brought up. It's even a little more pronounced because I'm on not a straight in, but the final approach feels a little bit interesting to me when I roll in, but that's all right. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring our power out. Plenty of runway. Let that speed bleed off. Float it out for the butter. We got plenty of runway. There's the last stripe. Oh, I really just wanted the butter. That's not gonna be a butter. That's not gonna be a butter.
Cranbrook traffic, number 714 Bravo Victor, base runway 34.
That was not a butter.
Cranbrook traffic, map black 875, breaking off the approach, making a right downwind 34 Cranbrook.
That was a float and smash. That's what happens when you float it out and run out of energy, and I was pretty much full aft. I was full
Cranbrook
aft.
traffic, number 17 Bravo Victor, final runway
I am not a
34,
PC12
Cranbrook
pilot.
traffic.
That was terrible. But look, we made the exit. I told you I wanted to make this exit right here. So we've cleaned it up. Get our wing, landing, strobe, recog off. We need to go back to low idle. And go into beta here. Slow down. Lovely airport scene. Park right here. Boop. Brakes are set. All right, let's do let's check out the shutdown sounds, because I do love the sounds. So, I should have turned up the sounds anyway on that approach. Oh well. Let's go avionics 1, avionics 2 is off.
Bus.
Gen 2.
Warning, essential bus. Generator 2.
Before I do all this, hold on. Do all that first. Do all that. Do that. And at least Gen 1 is the big boy. We'll do Gen
Warning,
1.
essential bus.
And let's do it from outside view because it's cooler. Never turned off the ECS either. Still hear the igniter firing. And we'll just kill battery 1 and 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't do any of our ECS stuff, so that's a rip on me. Oh well. There's no failures though, right? So I don't have to worry about it. That's a thing. All right, we're all down. Everything looks good. What did the poll say? 58% want to see the TBM in a comparison. Well, let's do that then. We'll go right into the TBM. I will load it up right on here. We won't even... oh yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's save... Oh gosh. I haven't done this in a long time, chap. I never started the recording. I'm not even joking on this one. Never even started the recording. So, rip. Nothing to watch. That's on me. That's on me. Let's load into the TBM then. So I'm going to make sure all my controls... I don't remember what my controls are. That would have been a nice landing to watch on replay too. Never started the replay. Were the float physics realistic? Yeah, the airplane wants to fly. Where did we touch down at? Somebody can respawn or replay and see what speed we actually touched down at. You should be touching down right about 10 knots below your approach speed. So you're going to be in that slow speed range. And that was flaps 30, and we're a four blade. The 5 blade has less float, and obviously a flaps 40 landing you'll have less float. But a super long runway like that kind of timed our landing to roll out. Fake simmer indeed. All right, I will, let's just throw up the Be Right Back screen real quick, and I'm going to join you guys here in about however long it takes to load into the TBM, since that's what we want to see. So let's do a direct comparison, PC12 TBM, and I'll be right back. Oh gosh, yep. Thanks for the mic. Muted. Mic check. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here. We are live. We got the is my audio on? There we go. There's our desktop audio. You should hear the sim now too. We are back at it. We've got a nice feather propeller. That's good here. All I was saying was the cockpit, when I first loaded into it, it looked like so much more work. Like the nice lax sipping a glass of wine in the PC12 time is over. We are about to rip it up to CYYC, whatever that is. Vancouver, Toronto. Let me edit Fly Live right now before everyone freaks out. CYXC, and we're going to CYYC, which is Calgary. And our call sign out is just 357 Bravo Mike as a TBM. So that's loaded. Let me refresh it for you guys. Bam, bam. This should have the new info up top. Here we go. Steve-O, are you there? Steve-O, are you there? All right, guys, here we are back in my personal... This is really hard for me to say. I'll actually wait till the conclusion of this flight. But up until the latest release, this has been my absolute favorite turboprop because it's just... Oh, our call sign's all messed up. What the heck? Normally have, well, whatever. But look how sleek it is. It just looks mean, fast, and ready to rip. Let's do it. Let's hop into the cockpit. Lovely cockpit as well. Definitely much more work. This is how you know you've got some great developers out there really working on texturing, because flipping into this cockpit, I have the exact feeling that I used to get when I would fly my fancy 550 Bravo with glass to a straight CJ2 round gauge. I would do some charter on a citation too, and whenever I got in that airplane, I had this feeling in my gut, not like a bad feeling or like anything negative, but just a feeling of, okay, well, we have to work now. That's the only way I can describe it. And I got that exact same feeling when I jumped into this cockpit from sitting in that lovely PC12 cockpit. So I don't even remember how to do this. Let's see. We'll go battery on, right? So we go battery on. And I think we can go into ground power, right? GPU is always connected. So GPU, main, and I want to just get some lights on. So there we go. You can see it's cold in here already. Where are all my lights? Let's get our radio master on to ground clearance. I guess, are we on ground power? I think we're on ground power. Let's turn up our displays here. We'll turn the cabin access light on as well in the back so people can come on in here. Welcome to the lovely TBM 850 cockpit. Now, if I turn this off, yeah, we're in ground clearance mode, right? Why are we not in ground clearance mode? I forget. And I know so here's the thing. I know we can drain the battery on this airplane, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and turn off the radio master. Let's just start it up, and then we'll figure it out. This is a difference between an airplane that has no failures and an airplane that I know will punish me, so I don't want to drain the battery, so let's just go into a pre-start flow. So that's off. We're going to be idle, forward, cut off on the propellers. That looks good there. Our ECS is off, and we'll go ahead and turn the fuel pump on. We'll put the tank selector is in manual. I'm going to come down to battery start, because I don't even know if it looked like we were connected to GPU. Either way, and the ignition is going straight into the on, and auto rather, and start. We've got the door open too, so we'll monitor the ITT. We should theoretically have a semi-cool start here. We're going to let it spool up all the way so we can minimize the starter temp. Looks like it's going to stabilize right about 17.5. There's our light off. Temp out at 722, 724. There's 50%. Starter is off, right? No, it's still on. Starter off. Just fried the starter. I can't hear. Let's close the door. We gotta close up. My after start flow is all out of whack. Starter's off. Generator main. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all coming on. Should have had the nav light and the pulse or nav light and strobe on as well. Ignition is in auto. Making our flow down here. We're going to go auto here. Aux boost pump into the auto position. Make our way down the right hand side here of this panel. We'll go bleed into auto. Fan only into the auto position. That looks good. And radio master on, autopilot and trims on. Can you guys tell why this is still like my favorite airplane? This is so I just love this pain. I love the pain of this work. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, and then of course the EFIS. Now it is colder outside, so it's going to take a little longer to brighten up. We can fix that by going into fan only. I want to run cabin temp up like this, and I could put the bleed into high right now, and we're sitting on the ground. So that should start warming the cabin rapidly. You can see we have a blue cabin light here. We'll enter this, we'll let this warm up. All right, everything looks good. We're engine heart failure. We've got a good engine, so at least we've got that working for us. All right, let's go flight plan. It's going to be a real simple flight plan here. We're going to push for cursor. And we'll go CY. Where are we? CYXC. Backspace. We're CYXC. Enter. And we're just going to go direct to CYYC. Calgary. Enter. Done. Cool. Direct to. Is chip detect modeled? Caleb, yes it is. And it'd be up here. Ask me how I know. 100% chip detector is modeled. So, but here's the other thing too. I don't want to go through the failure menu and see what's failed because that defeats the purpose of being surprised. So we may have effed up something, but we're going to find out together. Right now we have nothing on the warning panel, so everything looks good. Also should have got the pitot heats, all those. Inert SEP, we actually can leave that off. There's no snow out there, is there? Nah, there's nothing on the taxiway, so we'll leave the inert SEP off. All right, we're warming up. Let's go OBS to CDI to GPS, and I guess we got to do it on this thing too. The nav GPS, you can see that. We're going to be blasting off runway 34, so I'll spin my heading bug back to, what is it, 340. That is set. Let's hit the magic barrel ref key. How long is this flight? Do we know how many miles we got? 113. Let's do the same thing. Let's take it. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Let's take it up to 20,000. We'll do the same. We'll do the same profile as the PC12. So we'll arm that. Actually, you can get. Can we?
Cranbrook traffic, TBM 714 Bravo Victor, taxiing runway 34 via Bravo Alpha.
Oh, I think I just went into beta. What's that? What's happening to my engine? No, okay. We'll get rid of the flight director. I wasn't sure if you could get Toga on this as well. We'll go ahead and test our terrain.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
You can see the blue cabin light is out, so we're nice and warm. What I can do now is I'm gonna rock this back. The cabin temp is 65 degrees C or Fahrenheit, which is 18 C, so I'll set it right about there. I think everything else looks good to go. We're gonna go ahead and squawk 2000 with pseudo IFR squawk code here. We're on VFR 122.8 on the primary radio freak. We'll get rid of the cabin access. Oh, or actually, I think if we do that, it shuts it off. Yep, cabin lights are dimmed out. We're ready to go. We don't need flaps for this departure. And make sure our trims are set for takeoff. I'm gonna leave. I do leave it down a little bit.
November 714 Bravo Victor. We're gonna be back taxiing runway 34.
I have found that leaving the trims neutral is a little bit better than actually going to the takeoff position. So, while not 100% realistic, not the end of the world. We'll redirect that. There we go. We got a direct to That looks good. All right. Cranbrook traffic, TBM 7 Bravo Mike, we're taxi runway 34. Cranbrook. 65 is not nice and warm. All right. So there she is, chat, in all her beauty. Now I need to remember. Okay. We got that on. Let's go. I used to have a checklist. I feel so rusty. Park brake is off. Here we go. All right. So there's no hiding it. The cockpit, I love the cockpit of the TBM. So much stress. Here's a little beta. That's the beta sound. You kind of compare that to the PC12. I think this airplane has the same issue that Phantom was kind of mentioning on the PC12. He thinks that the beta range is a little bit too strong in the PC12. Like it's more effective than it really should be. Like you almost need a little bit more. I would say the same is true in the TBM. I feel like once you go into beta on the TBM, you pretty much stop. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I don't say I have a hard time. I don't know if I should believe it or not. I know in like King Air, Beech 99s, anything twin, you go into beta, you're probably still going to roll pretty good. Like you can go a long way at idle in beta. It doesn't just stop you. All right, we'll go ahead and hold short here. Make sure nobody's out there.
Cranbrook traffic, number 10 for Team Bravo Victor, we're going to be departing runway 34 to the northeast. Cranbrook traffic.
Cranbrook traffic, TBM 7 Bravo Mike, then our back taxi runway 34 from Cranbrook. All right, let's go ahead and roll up. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of our lights on, which I have bound. I think, yep. And we'll do pulse because why not? Let's go. My park brake off. Yep, park brake is off. Let's go. Oh, he was taken off. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't see you all the way down there rolling. Jeremy says it sounds like a different model than PT6. It does definitely sound different. Hasso, yeah, I'll fly the E-Jets once they get a little bit more. I'm interested in the one that's in Microsoft. It just needs a little bit more work. We don't have to back taxi the whole runway because we could probably take off from right here. But I'm going to set the panel lights a little bit more juicy. I like those maxed out right about there. That's the juicy. Maybe a little bit more panel flood. There we go. That's the juice right there. That is the juice. Slow it way down. See how like I'm not touching the brakes. Did come to a pretty hard stop here. We'll make the turn here. Why are the lights so much brighter on the 850 than the King Air? Drives me nuts. Captain, it might have something to do with this model is a complete custom model from the Black Square team, as opposed to the King Air is a modification of the default, so that might have something to do with it. I love the lighting in this airplane. This airplane and the PC12 are really good lighting. Alright, 3-4. That pretty much checks. Oh, you know what? I forgot to go to high idle. At this airplane, we sit around on high idle. Right? Rip. It's alright. I'm getting remembering. Alright, we are ready to go. Our flaps are set. Trims are set. 200. Cranbrook traffic. TBM 7 Bravo Mike departing runway 34. Let's do it. So this one, I'll bring up my tiller cam. You'll be able to see, you really got to watch how you pitch this puppy. So I'm going to hold the brakes here a little bit since it's a little bit shorter runway. I'm going to get that prop up to the governor. And set torque. Why is our prop not at max RPM? We could have a problem. 80 knots, or no, 40 knots, jeez. A little bit of right rudder here. Same thing, rotate right about 80. Positive rate. Gear up. Still very smooth, but much more responsive on the yoke when I lower the nose. Got to get that trim in there. Why is my prop RPM? We might have a prop problem. We might have a failed governor. We have an issue. Let's go ahead and intercept the nav course. We don't have any flaps. We're pretty much flaps clean. We're at 120. We'll pitch for about 140 knots. We might have a stuck prop governor. I'm gonna get that rudder trim in there now. Use that rudder trim. I got my rudder trim over on this side. Alright, let's go ahead and select nav, yaw damper, and IAS, hold, autopilot on, because we got to do some troubleshooting here. Let's make sure we're flying. We are nav, flight level change. We're a little bit slow on our flight level change. Let's see if we can increase it. Well, that's because our prop is... Here's our manual override. It's still in the green. Uh-oh. Center's online, 33.7, and we don't have a flight plan on file. RIP. We'll see if we can get a pop-up IFR. We have all sorts of issues. See, this is what I like though. Like, it's not just, oh, get in, everything's working. This is the importance of doing your run-up checks. Run-up checks. We did not do a run-up. We should have done a run-up. I actually noticed it on takeoff. Let's go ahead and check it. Everything else is in the green. Center, good evening, TBM 7 Bravo Mike. We're 7.5. We're looking to pick up an IFR clearance to Calgary. Are we going Calgary or Vancouver?
TBM 357 Bravo Mike, Roger. I don't have any flight plans for you. Have you filed them?
I'm sorry, I'll file one real quick here, TBM 7 Bravo Mike.
Roger.
Vancouver Center, hello, TBM 714 Bravo Victor, climbing 15,000 for 210.
We got issues, chat. CYXC, CYYC,
TBM 7-1.
no alternate.
Victor, St. Louis Center, good today. You're looking to IFR to Calgary 2, correct?
We'll go...
Yep, 714 Bravo Victor.
20,000 feet. No
for Bravo
Rick.
Victor, Roger. Declare to Calgary via present
Van
position.
Vankery.
Proceed direct.
We also have got icing
Full
potential
boat
up
on
here.
course.
Let's go ahead and do the prop de-ice. Oh, look, our windshield is already icing up. So let's go ahead and go left and right windshield heats. You can see we've got ice
Clear
on our
to
windshield.
love, then squawk 0741, climb
Yeah, we are. There we go.
210,
Now it's going to go
714
ahead and it's clearing the ice. We got our windshield heating elements on.
And center lock to 275.
Let's go ahead and get the inert SEP on, and let's go ahead and get the airframe de-ice cycling as well, just in case. There's 10,000 feet. I'm going to disengage the autopilot here. I'm going to lower the nose,
Roger, we're fly the mist and looking for that traffic.
and then we'll re-engage at a little bit, about 130 knots. CYV.
Thank you, read that correct, and you're identified. Welcome.
Jesus, that master caution got me. All right. IAS hold now, 130. Maybe that'll hold it.
35, cushion, TBM, and Bravo Mike.
And center lock to 275. I think we're crashing.
Let's get 275. Roger, the trucks are inbound.
Thank you.
This is a mess. This is a mess. No, I'm sorry. Did you call TBM 7 Bravo Mike?
TBM 7 Bravo Mike, yes, I have a flight plan for you going to Calgary. IFR with no waypoint. I'll need at least one waypoint going into Calgary. And the altitude you filed is incorrect. It's going to be, I can offer you level 190 or 210.
All right, we're sorry about that. We'll take 210 if we can get it, and we'll refile. We're working engine problem at the same time here.
Roger, no problem. Well, in the meantime, you're clear to Calgary via the radar Victor. Turn right, heading 020, climb level 190, and squawk 0701.
All right, squawking 0701 in the turn, heading 020, climbing to flight level 190 for TBM 7 Bravo Mike. All right, we're heading mode. 190 is set. 0701 is set. Inert SEP is still on. We're 130 knots. Our engine is still holding. I tell you what, Chet, I'm not even going to go into rental car mode or 850 mode because of my prop. I have a feeling that going into 850 mode right now with the stuck governor is not the best idea for this flight. So we're going to make an executive decision. We're going to keep it in normal mode, not 850 mode, as we climb out here. We're still holding 130 knots, 1,500 feet.
Virgin 105.
Now I need to actually file a flight plan here, so give me a second. Where's the dispatcher when you need him? Zippy Zapple, what's the... I need a
Virgin 105 heading with T-Pilot level 380.
I need a waypoint.
Virgin 105, Vancouver Center, good today. Squawk 0743.
Alright, new flight.
0743, Virgin 105.
Let's see. CYXC,
Air Canada 206.
CYVR.
You're on the text, correct?
TBM. Rail controls pitch. Oil? What do you mean? We're not going to Vancouver. We're going to Calgary. Jeez. Where are we going? Why can't I get these two, master warning, check pressurization. Oh, son of a gun. I didn't even set that. I have my screen up. Shit. Watch your ears. Let's set 20, and let's max that rate out. Watch your ears. Hopefully we don't have any babies on here. Jeez.
Virgin 105 Heavy, thank you. Identified, welcome.
Where are we going? CYYC is Calgary, is it not?
And instead of Bravo Mike, you're identified as well. Welcome.
TBM 7 Bravo Mike, Roger. This I hate Canada. I'm never flying back to Canada. CYYC.
Bravo Mike.
CYYC.
Slightly offline.
And SimBrief says.
My airspace now.
Oh, I don't want to fly that. Let's do Tulob and Vegsas. We'll go at least. We'll go Tulob. How about this? We're gonna go this flight plan.
TBM 4 Bravo Victor. Question Edmonton is
we're going
sadly
via
offline.
Tulob waypoint, which is TULOB.
switch to unrest frequency.
We're gonna blow our cabin up.
122.8, 714 Bravo Victor, thank you,
We
bye-bye.
need to slow down this climb rate.
Alright.
Vertical speed. We gotta slow this cabin rate. We're gonna blow ourselves up. 500 feet a minute. That's in our TBM7 runway. We should have a flight plan on file now via the 2 lob waypoint.
Seven Bravo Mike, thank you. 2 lob is well, never mind. 2 lob is 50 miles out. Just be advised that you will need a crash this star into Calgary at some point. But for now, you're cleared to Calgary. The present position, proceed direct 2 lob on course, climb level 190, correct?
Okay, yeah, present direct 2 lob, and then Calgary, climbing a flight level 190, TBM7 Bravo Mike. Alright, we're going direct to 2 lob, nav. Here we go. There's my cabin. Our cabin is finally caught up. We'll hit the magic barrel ref key. Oh no, we can't. We're not above it yet. There we go. 2 lob, 17.8. Our cabin is caught up, so we can increase our vertical speed now. There we go. So our cabin should be pressurizing. Oh, I remember my first flight in the TBM. You never turned on the oxygen? Yeah, we would have. Well, we don't need the oxygen. We have a pressurized cabin. But if we would have, if we would have not pressurized, then we would have blacked out. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and get everything back on order here. So we are. What does B mean? Oh no, this one. All right, here we go. Let's set standard. Standard set 18.4, climbing 190. Direct to 2 lob. How's everything going here? We got our little bit more left trim, rudder trim here, so we do have
is at your
to trim it out.
10 to 11 o'clock, 10 miles out, report. The field inside.
Oh yeah, we got it.
And we can go ahead and turn the inert SEP off. We don't need airframe de-ice. We don't need prop de-ice. We'll leave the windshield heats on though, just for a little bit more. 804, we're below temp, so we're looking good. I'm actually going to bring the torque back a little bit.
Lima November Bravo. Winds are calm in Nanaimo. You're going for visual, correct?
Yeah, if the governor is busted, since it's less than 2,000, only limitation is no go around and no
Lima
reverse.
November Bravo.
Okay, thank you for looking it up. So I was gonna tackle that next, but
ATC services. Question. Radar system terminated. Switch.
Since you tackled it for me, I appreciate you. So only limitation, no reverse, and
Vancouver, hello, Alaska 49, flight level
no go arounds. We're leveling at flight level 190. We're navved up. Remember when I told y'all that I didn't. Like, you can't have a glass of wine when you fly the TBM, but in the PC12, I felt like we could have a glass of wine. Yeah. That's the difference between the two airplanes, and the fact that we actually have failures, and I've got a busted governor right now. We are at 19,000 feet. The OAT, though, is minus 30, minus 35 C. Dang, it is cold up here. So I'm going to look at some perf tables. Everything else looks good. We're stabilized. Feast your eyes. Don't mind that registration number.
Oh, Alex, are you ready?
CYYC to O'Hare for the 7-4? Yeah, I'm ready.
Wrong one.
Okay. All right. Let me look at my TBM Performance app. If I missed any notifications, I apologize. I'm a terrible streamer. There's professional streamers available elsewhere. Welcome on board. Who is that? Captain McGee. Spicy flight. I love it. Thank you for the support, man. Oh, Lauren's here. Good. Lauren, where were you about 5 minutes ago? Wasn't Cat 5 just saying in the Discord that we need more professional pilots on that sim? Yeah, I'm just going to show myself the exit because that was not professional. CYYC to O'Hare then. Zippy, I don't know. Whichever one is 1,200 miles from Chicago, that's where we're taking off from. All right, 19,000 feet. I need to go with a cruise power. OAT is minus 30. Max torque is 121, so we're looking good. We still would have more torque if we needed it. Or no, it actually 118. So we can have more torque. Our prop is still in the green though, so I'm gonna go ahead and bump it up. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more torque. Let's get there. Our ITT will be our limiting factor probably here at 19 thou. Let's see.
7 Bravo, question. TBM 7 Bravo, Mike. Seattle is, question. Edmonton is Sandy offline. You're following another TBM at 20 miles in trail. Radar system terminated. Switch on high frequency. Have a good rest of your flight.
All right, over to Unicom. Thanks for the ATC, TBM 7 Bravo, Mike. All right, 22.8. Thank God. That was way more stressful than it needed to be. That was way more stressful than it needed to be. Making of Mayday Air Disaster, episode 850. Professional pilots would actually make radio calls. A pilot in Phoenix the other day gave the controller a thanks, dude. Correct phraseology. Crazy Flyer, thank you for the support, man. Kevin says, we love the hard work streams. It's fun to watch. Well, Crazy Flyer, I'm glad you guys enjoy watching them. Look at these snow-covered mountains up here, though. This is cool. Let's enjoy some, a little different. So, this is not your PC12, a little bit smaller. What do you guys think so far? Are you guys, for those of you that have both the PC12 and TBM, what are your opinions? What are your opinions? I love the way the PC12 flies. It is so friendly and so forgiving. But if I'm being completely honest, I feel like I'm flying an empty shell. Not because the systems aren't modeled, but because there is nothing in place at the current moment to keep you in check, you know? So that's kind of where I sit right now between the two airplanes. And I love the amount of round gauge the TBM has. It's a perfect amount of round gauge versus glass. When the PC12 gets the later update where they have some failures and more effects to the airplane modeled, then I think it'll be a really close comparison. In terms of PT6 accuracy, an overall system, which is better? Stefan, I have to personally check the PC12 in a few more scenarios. I can tell you they both have torque drop off as you climb, which is correct. The starting temperatures are affected by outside air temperature, which is correct. Albeit the TBM, I've tested this extensively. It still seems to be hindered a little bit by Microsoft's outside air temperature effect on the engine. So they've worked on it to make it more realistic, but it's still a little bit off. I haven't actually tested the PC12 yet in like a super hot conditions and started up, and then super cold. So the Black Square TBM 850, this was a point of emphasis in the beta before it even released, was the start temperature and limitations. You know, you couldn't adjust it one direction and then have it not mess up your values in flight, kind of like we talk about the ground mode versus flight mode on takeoff in the PC12. So the POH values of the TBM are within a couple percentage points of the actual manual as well. So it's got realistic values in flight, definitely. On the ground, it is still skewed a little bit more. The OAT has a more effect on startup than normal. But that was a Microsoft limitation. I don't know if PC12 guys found a way around it, but I haven't actually tested it. As far as operation on the ground, beta, I think they're both the same. I think beta mode on the ground in both airplanes is a little bit more effective than it should be. I think this goes into the same hand of a Zobo ground model versus flight model issues and limitations. The other thing is flight idle in flight. From what I've been told, TBM 850 flight idle is pretty scary at how fast you can come down. They've worked on it. Just Flight has worked on it. Or sorry, not Just Flight. Black Square has worked on that to get it much closer to the real thing. I don't know what the PC12 is, I would imagine it's pretty much similar. If you go flight idle in the PC12, I imagine it's pretty scary as well coming down. Big Hershey bar wing, straight wing, flat pitch propeller out there. You're going to have a good rate of descent. So they're very comparable. But as of right now, I just can't say the PC12 is more in depth because it doesn't have failures. But as Duffman said, you give me that PC12 with damage and maintenance, and if they can drop an EFB, so here's the other thing. There's no EFB coming, at least that I know of, in the plans for the TBM 850. Everything that you do is done through the Bendix King menu down here. Well, actually, it looks like we got a little radar as well. We do have weather radar. That's cool. So we do have weather radar. You don't have that in the PC12. So we got our weather radar up and running. If all things end up being equal, so let's say the next PC12 update, which I will purchase because it is going to be a paid add-on, if it has the same, I'm not expecting it to have all the failures that the TBM has. The TBM has hundreds of failures. But if it has the basic failures and damage models, like, hey, if you improperly manipulate the controls, you're going to break something. You're going to break a governor. You're going to break pressurization. Basic stuff, if you treat it wrong and they model it that it can break, and it has an EFB for weight and balance, that I think it could put an edge on it. I think the PC12 could put an edge on the TBM once they release failures and an EFB. And the edge, the tiebreaker, going to the EFB, because I love having that EFB. I almost like having an EFB more for GA stuff, because I think it's more important. As you know, GSX, we can just do loading through GSX, and everything loads up and it all happens around you. For light GA airplanes, you know, having something where you can click spot and remove static wicks and remove chocks and load passengers and their weight, or check the status of the light bulbs like the MSR 500 has, or the FS Reborn 5000 has, where you can check the status of your oil and change your oil. A2A Comanche, a prime example of this. So I almost think an EFB is just as, if not slightly more important to have in a high fidelity GA airplane than it is an airliner. So if the PC12 guys can drop a nice EFB to go with failures and damage, it's gonna be a very well done airplane. So, not that it's not well done now, but I just feel a little bit more like it's just shell, you know? And I hate using the word shell because there are a lot of systems modeled in that PC12. They've got a ton of stuff modeled in normal operation. Heck, I think you can even go use the lab, which we forgot to do, but you can use the laboratory in the PC12. But anyway, I used to sync 4-flight with my X-Plane 11. Is that not doable here? Caleb, so I used to sync 4-flight with FSX. I don't know why it's not doable. It might be doable. I just don't know how to do it, Caleb. Maybe a couple searches on the interwebs, you can find something. Hold on, I gotta text the wife back. No, I'm gonna get one later. Or actually, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna get one later. The problem is I have to get up early to go to work tomorrow. I got 3 legs in a 319 tomorrow, going up to Chicago, going down to Florida. It's a day trip, but it's a 3-legger day trip, so it's a long one. I gotta get up early, so if I drink coffee tonight, or I could just get the sniffles and, you know, I don't know. I really want to actually fly tomorrow, though, because it's a 319. I haven't flown a 319 in a while, and I get 3 legs in it. Captain says, do you know of a solution to the dark gauges in the King Air? Captain Duggo, I do not. And I assume you maybe turn the floods. You could turn on the floodlights. But, all right, let's go ahead and start down. We're 30 miles out. Let's go ahead and set 10,000. Let's set 10,000. Vertical speed, 700. It's already engaged. We're starting down. And here we go. A quick flight in the TBM. You been to MSP in real life lately, Rex? Oh, no, I haven't. I've switched most of my turns for Florida now because it's too cold. I'm going to turn this rate down so we don't blow a cabin pressure controller. What is the field elevation of wherever we're going. What's CYYC? It's field elevation. Hopefully we could just do a visual approach into Calgary. Calgary says elevation is 3606. The weather in Calgary right now, oh, it's snowing. Son of a... We have to do another approach. Alright, so it's 3,000, so let me run this back up. $3,000 feet. We're descending down. 3 legs and 7 stickers. Alright, we have to do an approach into Calgary, chat. And my wife is calling me. Doesn't she know that we are working here? Oh, she's gonna bring some cookies. Delicious. Alright. Calgary says 010, so what runway are we going to land on as we get ready to go through some icing conditions here? Let me know if any master cautions come up, because I have I have my Navigraph up. I think we could land on 1-1, right? 010, so that's pretty much northbound. What if we just land 35 left and go up there? Let's float it out on 35 left. Procedures, approaches, 35 left. If we got an ILS 35 left, we do. ILS 35 left. That's what I want to load up. Let's increase that rate of descent a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn on the inert SEP and the airframe de-ice boots. The one thing I don't know is I don't know if you can see visual icing on the airframe, so I'm just going to run them anyway. It's not going to hurt you. Let's load up a procedure here. We're going to select approach. 35 left. We'll take it off of Gable. Enter. We'll load it. Yes. And I'm going to go here. Direct Gable. Oh, we're kind of past it. Scratch that. Let's go Bovix. Direct Bovix. Yep, Bovix. We're direct Bovix now. Master caution, inert SEP scared me. Jeez. Let's go ahead and increase that rate of descent. 1,500 feet a minute now. We'll also set an altitude of 7,000 feet. Is she bringing cookies for all of us? Boots inflate in the update. RC Flyer, that's awesome. Yeah, so I am one update behind on the TBM as well. What you're seeing is a slightly outdated version. I have to update my TBM. So we're on the decent. Oh, look, cookies have arrived. I took the wheels off my chair. I can't turn around. All right, hold on. Let me mute my microphone so you don't say anything dirty to everybody. I don't think that's what he had in mind. All right, she tried to say something dirty. I think the mic was still muted. Thanks, babe. All right, where are we at? We're joining the final. We're way high. Okay, here we go. Power's coming back. Let's get to work here, chat. We need to get down on this ILS. We might have to overfly the field. Bovix was at 4. Jeez, we're 6,000 feet high. Force Raptor, yes, I know. And that's kind of when, like I said, hey, do you guys want to do a comparison of the PC12 and TBM? I kind of regretted it as soon as I said it because I realized I don't have the updated version. But we still wanted to see it. And I got to say, though, like, the fact that when we switched airplanes in the sim, and I go from sitting in the PC12 cockpit to being in the TBM cockpit, and I get that same real-life feeling that I used to get when I used to switch between a nice glass 550 Bravo and a straight CJ2. I get that same gut punch feeling. That's pretty good. I mean, what a time to be simmers. We're going to break off this approach. We're going to go ahead and select heading. Where are we at? Calgary? Calgary traffic, TBM 7 Bravo Mike. We're setting up for a left downwind to join the ILS 35 left Calgary. We're going to rejoin. We're going to break off here. We're going to rejoin on downwind. I'm going to go ahead and move this back to ILS. Wait a second. CDI needs to go to VLOC. Fuel low because we're in the turn. Jeez, we're almost low on fuel too. Are you serious right now? Jeez Louise. VOR1. This was a mess of a second leg, guys. I apologize. 111.5 is active. Why don't we have it? Is it because we're that high up? .111.5 for Calgary, 3.5 left. 111.5 is in the active there. We'll put 111.5 in the standby there. It's got it on nav 2. Oh, there it is. It's just because our position in space. We're off the antenna. There we go. We got our loc. We're out of 8.5. We're on the descent. We got low fuel. Calgary traffic. TBM 7 Bravo Mike. We're declaring minimum fuel. Disregard. We can't do that without a controller online. We have min fuel though. We are low fuel, chat. 140 knots. We're on the downwind. Bovix is at 4,800, call it 5,000 feet, so let's keep coming down. Make a Steve-O Knievel proud. I'm going to try. All right, our loc is on, our final approach course. Let's verify that because that's not set. It's 345 is the final approach course, so we're a little bit off. That's all right. 345. We'll go ahead and square that downwind leg there. 345. Flying outbound. Our speed is coming back to 140. We can't go around, so we got to be stable. What's the last time you flew like 172? Oh, it's been over a decade, Rex. Long time. Is Miss V1 a gamer if she's so understanding with your hobby and passion? No, she's actually not a gamer. She's the complete opposite. But she gets it. I think when I first met her, I had a sim set up in my bachelor pad, so she learned early on. All right, there's our altitude alert. We should capture at 5,000. Why is our left fuel? We're in auto. Is our fuel shift stuck? We're in right, so I'm gonna go manual. I'm gonna keep us in right. So our fuel selector is in right. We might have an auto fuel selector fault. So auto selector is off. I'm gonna manually keep us in right fuel tank because that has the gas in it. All right, we're 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn base leg here. Coming around. When it rains, it pours. Exactly. We'll get flight recorder up again for the second time. Exactly, AJ. Exactly. All right, watch the speed there, cowboy. Let's go flaps approach. 110 knots. Should be about 120 here. It was a little bit slow. We'll go ahead and increase a little bit of power. There we go, 120 knots. 5,000 feet. And right about now, we'll start an intercept. Make it about 030. Calgary traffic, TBM 7 Row, Mike, join on final 35 left, 6 miles. Alright, 5,000. Set, we got our ILS ready to go. Our rad out is already preemptively loaded at 200. Watch the speed, bring the power back a little bit. And we've got nav ready. Matter of fact, I can activate vectors of final there. There we go. We're looking good, chat. We are looking good. As soon as that localizer beam comes alive, we're going to hit the nav. Still slow down a little bit. We're still cruising here. Is the 850 worth it? I think it is. I really do. Aim A. I think the TBM is worth it. Capture it, capture it, capture it! Yeah. Overshot. We were much closer in than I thought. Yeah. Alright, let's go autopilot off. We're gonna hand fly it. Autopilot's off, flight director off. We'll fly it ourselves here. We're right on a glide slope intercept. We're looking good. A little bit of hand flying action. Now, when I bring up the yoke cam here, you're going to notice how much more sensitive the TBM is to the flight control inputs. It's also got those really big fat ailerons out there on that tiny wing. All right, we're 110 knots. Things are looking good. Let's go ahead and go gear down. 120 knots, flaps approach, gear down. Let's do our landing checklist. Our fuel is on the full tank. We have auto select on, inert SEP is on. Our heatings are on, everything else looks good. Gear down 3 green, cabin is depressurizing. We're clear to land, Chad. We're full forward, we got a busted governor, cannot go around. Looking good. Nasty day. We might have to leave from here. We'll do it live, agent. Thoughts on the new Sim Update 14 up visuals? They're great. Man, we're some gusty winds down here. What's with the weather down here in Canada? You guys don't believe in nice, gentle winter transitions. This is a super long runway, so I am going to intentionally float us down. I'll kind of do the same thing we did when we landed the PC12. I want to get off at the very end and go to the ramp off that north side. So we're going to float this one in. Right about now, I'm going to start working the power back, and then we will go flaps to land, the white arc. We're going to coast it on down. We're going to go all the way down to that last taxiway. Watch that speed, though. So you see that drag, that idle drag? That is realistic. That is cool. Got to get a little bit more power in there. We're 90 knots. So the idle drag is pretty good. Minimum's runway in sight. We're landing. We're going to roll it out. We're going to end for the very end of the touchdown zone, maybe even past it. We're not a 121 operator. All right, let's go ahead and bring it out. We're just going to see if we can float her out for the butter. Look how long this runway is. We don't even need reverse. Let's get out of reverse. Look how long this runway is. This is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Calgary. We can take this exit here. We'll check the failure menu too when we get to the ramp real quick. Are you kidding me, chat? No one reminded me to start the recording. I can't. I need a coffee, and I'm gonna need to reset my life here before we do our long haul tonight, our mini long haul into the VATSIM event. We got to bring our A game tonight, chat. So if you bring the A game with me tonight, we're gonna be much better. I promise. We're gonna be much better. But I had fun with this. Did you guys have fun? We don't even have 200 likes yet. Can we get 200 likes before the end of this video? Hit the like button for busted governors and ATC and just overshooting the approach. Let's see if we can get 200 likes before we shut her down up here. Appreciate y'all tuning in though on this one. I had as crazy as this was, I still had fun doing it. We gotta add power. We gotta go all the way down to the end over here. We recorded it in our hearts. Too distracted by the 8,435 things going wrong. Exactly. Look, I'm going to have to bring my TBM to maintenance, though. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I love about this particular add-on, and how there are other add-ons out there that do this, that have the mean time between failures. My engine is in great condition. I'm being very good to my engine. My engine is pretty much 100% because I repaired it a couple flights ago. This airframe, we're sitting at 12 hours on this airplane right now, and looks like we've had some sort of governor failure. I can only imagine something had to do with it being super cold weather there back in Cranbrook, not doing any run-ups or warming of the engine. Clear left, clear right, clear across. This must be a heavy airport. Is there a scenery for this airport? I think there is. So... a mess of fun. Awesome. Thank you, RC Flyer. I'm going to have to change the thumbnail to show a TBM and a PC12 in it, or else I'm just going to get absolutely destroyed in the comments. Peep the hook shirt. You like it, Bradley? Yeah, man. I should have went fishing today, but instead decided to do some virtual flying with y'all. Are you actually able to see if the governor? Yes, Rex, I'll show you here right in a minute. Let me just get to the end of the earth over here, wherever these buildings are, and I'll show you the whole failure menu. This might actually be the cargo ramp. Is this cargo up here? I'll show you the failure menu. You'll see everything I'm talking about. Darson, cheers, man. Jesus loves you too. FCOM Studios makes great scenery. Did we establish if this is the airport that we're leaving from tonight? Is this airport 1,200 miles from Chicago? Is this the airport? Then I'll check out the scenery. Kimo Abda, it is at 5 Eastern. After the stream ends, it's going to automatically kick you over to it. So you don't even have to close off of this live stream. It'll bring you right to the new one when this ends. All right, Kevin47, yes. All right, thank God. I'm never flying in Canada again. Y'all got way too confusing here with the... let's just park at the fuel stand because we don't have any fuel. Let's just go ahead and park right here. I didn't realize there was fuel down here. Let's not run into it, though. Wow. We only have 12. We have 100 pounds in our fuel. Ladies and gentlemen, let this be a lesson to you to actually do proper fuel procedures before you take off. All right, one thing I do know how to do, though, is a proper shutdown. So let's go ahead and shut her down. Before we shut the avionics off, let me show you the failures. So let's go active failures. Wow. So it's not my fault. Look at this. Propeller governor and a left fuel leak developed. So those are our failures. That's what we got. If you want to see, well, I don't want to go back to scheduled failures because I think it'll reset my active ones. But there is literally, I think there's like over 100 different systems that have complex failures associated with them. Check out my TBM videos I did Oh, so I can't shut that off. You know what? I'll show you that menu here in a minute. What the hell? Let's go ahead and shut everything off proper, though. Let's go ahead. Let's go. Bleeds off. That's low. That's off. We're depressurized, right? Yes. Cabin is at 0. What we do here at the fuel, we're going to go aux fuel tank pump off. Fuel selector stays in manual. And up top, we're going to go ignition to the off position. Generator off. And actually, I can go GPU, so we can see we picked up the GPU load. We'll shut these off, and we'll kill it. There she is, shut down beautifully. Can I still check that? Yeah, so there we go. We'll open the door. We're going to need to go to maintenance. I'm going to open the cowlings. Why is my igniter running? Must have a binding there somewhere. Alright, must have a conflicting binding. So I've opened the cowlings because we got to do some maintenance. Oh, the fuel farm's in the way. we got the thing. So I don't care if I have to reset all my failures. I keep mine at 32x. So let's go to detailed settings. Here is the list of comprehensive failures that can happen. They have some of them even have subsystem failures. So how do I scroll down? Okay, so engines, generators, standby, fuel controller, torque limiter, vacuum pump, partial vacuum, pitot, static blockage, brakes, fuel, environmental faults, cabin safety valve, outflow valve, which I know for a fact you can blow that thing up if you don't do it properly. Or maybe it was an environmental fault. Basically, what we did today, I did during beta testing this aircraft, and I didn't change it, and it ended up destroying my pressurization. So you got to treat it right. Pilot door latch. This is another one. If you don't latch properly, or you can actually develop a door latch failure, and you'll be leaking pressurization while you climb. And this is starter motor. I'm surprised we didn't toast this one today. Starter motor. But see, we don't know what the condition is. The condition could not be 100%. The average failure in real life is 6,000 hours of flight time for a starter to go out. Look at all these. I mean, but we're still going. There we go. We're still going. That's it. That's the end. So that's the type of failures that you got on the TBM. So and that's kind of weird doing. I'm not trying to pit these airplanes against each other by any means here, because I think that the PC12 is a great airplane. I think it hand flies beautifully. I don't know if there's that much of a difference between the TBM hand flown and a PC12 hand flying capabilities. I mean, it's possible the PC12 could just fly like that, and the TBM could just fly a little bit more like this. So I'm not trying to pit them against each other, but when it comes to full depth of what's going on underneath the hood, this airplane's got my heart. Look at that beauty there. Look at that beauty. But we will definitely keep an eye on the PC12 for updates to come, because when they release the failure update, you bet I'm going to be right there doing some more stressed out streams with you. How often do engine failures happen in real life? Captain Will, I didn't see it. Whatever that number was when I scrolled past it, that is the average failure time for those components based on real world data. So what did we read? 6,000 hours on the starter motor. So what that means is a starter motor on a TBM 850, according to real world maintenance data, approximately 6,000 hours is the lifespan of the starter motor before you have a failure. If you have failure set at 1x time, then you've got a long way before anything starts to fail. But if you're like me and you want to keep yourself on your toes, I bump it up to 32x. So whatever 6,000 divided by 32 is, that's how much time it has on average for that system to start to wear out and fail. So yeah, we're going to freeze the cabin. It's okay. We're going to the hotel. I'm getting a drink, and we're flying 747s in a couple hours. So I appreciate you all tuning in for this absolute mess of a stream. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hitting that like button. And if you want to totally switch gears and fly heavy metal, that's going to be coming at you here in about an hour and a half. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you all for tuning in. See you.